Mladen Kazinski, Bulgaria, 2012. Mladen Kazinski wasn't a breakthrough, he was a breakthrough factory. By age 25, he'd already collected a World Championship bronze, 2006, World Cup bronze, 2007, and a European Championship bronze, 2009 with Bulgaria. Add 4 Champions League and Club World titles with Trentino, and you've got a player who made outside hitter feel like a superpower on the court. He was Bulgaria's undisputed star. Everything unraveled in 2012, just before London. Kazinski and coach Radostin Stoichev resigned from the national team in protest of federation leadership's handling of internal politics and alleged corruption. In a meeting with then Prime Minister Boyko Borisov, they refused to play unless top officials stepped down. Bulgaria lost not just their coach but their heartbeat. When a new president arrived in the federation, fans hoped for a return. But Kazinski ruled it out, saying that 8 years have passed and that change had never materialized. In 2023, at age 38, he appeared on a preseason roster, but reiterated he was past the point of returning. My time in the national team has passed. Still one of club volleyball's greats, but forever disconnected from his country. Yuji Nishida, Japan 2019 to 2025. By 2019, Yuji Nishida was more than Japan's ace. He redefined expectations. At just 19, he broke a Nations League serving record with 7 aces in one match, earned Best Server and Best Opposite at the World Cup, as Japan climbed from middling to medal contention, and swept league MVP titles in Japan's V-League with J-Tech Stings by 2020. The spike was sharp, the trajectory vertical, and the world saw him as Japan's breakout superstar. The first sign of fragility came during Japan's 2021 national scrimmage, a blocking landing that sprained his ankle. What followed were 2 ankle surgeries, nagging calf and back issues during his Italian stint, and a mysterious febrile collapse in early 2023 that derailed training, disrupted multiple seasons, and forced Japan to rotate staff into his roster spot. In July 2025, a weary 25, Nishida officially stepped back from Japan's national team for at least a year, warning he'll only return if his body permits. He remains a top scorer in domestic play, but the explosive dominance never fully regained momentum, his ceiling permanently tinged with what if. Brilin Martinez, Dominican Republic 2013. From 2011 to 2016, Brilin Martinez was the Dominican phenom, captaining her country to U20 and U23 world medals, earning MVP and Best Outside Hitter honors, and leading the 2015 Pan Am Cup winners. She became the youngest scorer Japan ever saw at senior world competitions, and dubbed Reinas del Caribe's scoring machine by FIVB as the DR celebrated its hockey arena-packed revival after generations of underdogs. Unlike European peers who translated junior hype into Olympic gold or World League podiums, Martinez never made a single Dominican Olympics final. By 2018-19, she'd plateaued. Dominican squads fell early in global competitions, and the sporting media spotlight shifted to Brazil, China, USA, with Martinez only rescuing occasional sets, not commanding tournaments. At 28, she still racked up points in Brazil's Praia Club and averaged a team-high 18 per match in the 2025 Nations League. But the question echoes, why did the Golden Youth leap never become a lasting shadow? Her legacy might belong to highlight reels, not to Hall of Fame banners. Tjana Melese, Serbia 2020. By 2018, Tjana Melese had won nearly everything. Olympic silver, 2 Eurovolley golds, and the 2018 World Championship title crowned her among the world's elite wing spikers, not just for Serbia, but for modern women's volleyball. She was everywhere: captain, leader, someone fans expected to play into their 30s. In 2020, at just 29, Tjana was shocked. She retired. Not due to injury, but after years of relentless touring, 6 leagues in 5 continents, and constant physical strain. As she put it, "I've been thinking of ending my career for 2 seasons now," revealing exhaustion from the grind rather than a sudden blow. She walked away voluntarily. No injuries flagged, no scandal attached. Instead, Melese chose to step off the court while still elite, moving into mentoring and advocacy roles. Her absence echoed not just in Serbian lineups, but across the sport. Not every prodigy burns out from injury. Some fade from fatigue. Quietly. Mateusz Benk, Poland 2024. By 2022, Mateusz Benk had 2 worlds, a 2024 Olympic silver medal, and a dream resume at only 30, dominating as Poland's middle blocker with unmatched reach and clutch blocking. He seemed built for consistency and longevity. But in Paris 2024, during the semifinals versus France, he twisted his ankle after a brutal block attempt. Medics hurried in, yet he couldn't continue. Back home, scans confirmed damaged ligaments and muscle tears that forced him off the Olympic roster and sidelined him for months. Even earlier in 2021, lingering rib and calf issues had already chipped at his explosiveness. Once the team's natural captain, Benk now faces a long road back to peak form. He signed a new 4-year club deal in early 2025, but questions remain. Has his elite edge slipped? In Poland, fans whisper talent remains, but high-impact risk is no longer seen as inevitable, only fragile. Melissa Vargas, Cuba 2017. At age 15, Melissa Vargas had already captained the Cuban national youth team, topping U20 international rankings and hailed as Cuba's next worldwide star. Observers called her the future of Cuban volleyball, explosive, reliable, and too big, 1.9 meter to ignore. She scored 144 points at the 2014 Pan American Cup and was the federation's golden investment. Everything flipped in 2016 after a serious shoulder injury and a clash with Cuban officials. Vargas criticized the inadequate medical care and management. In response, the Cuban Federation imposed a devastating 4-year ban, 2017-21, for undisciplined attitudes, a punishment that barred her from all national and international competitions. Denied the right to play elsewhere, Vargas escaped Cuba, joined Valero Zurich, then Fenerbahce in Turkey. She acquired Turkish citizenship in 2021 and debuted on Turkey's national team in 2023, winning both the Nations League and Eurovolley MVPs. But those 4 lost years crushing prime age remain her scar, an athlete born too early for one country and too late for another. Ricardo Lucarelli, Brazil 2011. When Ricardinho burst onto the world stage, Brazilians claimed him as the heir to Giba, a gold medalist at 2016 Rio Olympics and 2019 World Cup. He averaged over 50% attack efficiency, leading Brazil in scoring and earning top scorer accolades at major tournaments. He seemed unstoppable. Yet after 2020, small inconsistencies crept in long streaks of underperformance, criticism during big tournaments, and shoulder issues that threatened his explosiveness. Starting roles rotated, Brazil began inserting younger options for key matches. Lucarelli remained serviceable but not dominant. His MVP-level trajectory reduced to reliability. As the team's pace quickened, his numbers plateaued, and critics questioned whether the sport had already moved past him. At 33, Lucarelli still plays in Japan's V-League, remains on Brazil's roster, and occasionally still drops match-winning kills. But the arc shifted early and never fully recovered. Instead of legacy, he settled into longevity as a reliable veteran, not the legend many expected. Haley Hodson, USA 2015. Stanford's #1 overall recruit in 2015, AVCA Freshman of the Year, future Team USA, and already being touted as America's next Olympic star before her college sophomore year. A strategic genius, lethal hitter, and unstoppable at the serve line. Late in 2016, Haley began suffering crippling migraines, anxiety, and memory loss. It emerged that she had multiple concussions, and Stanford and the NCAA were accused of delaying proper evaluation. By mid-2017, at just 20, she was medically retired. Talented, hardworking, but her body refused to let her play. Haley filed a lawsuit in 2020 against Stanford and the NCAA, calling her treatment a failure of protocol and safety. While she no longer plays, her story inspired California's Fair Pay to Play Act, giving athletes more control over their rights. She's now a reluctant advocate, many of her peers still medical redshirted or filing for compensation later down the road. Victoria Garrick, USA 2015. Victoria Garrick walked on to USC volleyball no one expected to star. By her senior year, she'd amassed a PAC 12 title, kicked up Elite 8 streaks, and ranked top 5 all-time in digs at USC. She was the poster image of Division I success. Mental toughness, hustle plays, and fan-favorite grit. That shine looked effortless until sophomore year. Within the backdrop of nationwide pressure, academia, and constant travel, she cracked with performance anxiety she didn't even admit to herself. Depression and body image struggles led to an abrupt mental health leave. Mid-season, a rarity in Pac-12 volleyball history. "I didn't want to stop," she said later. But I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine. Instead of making fans think she quit, Victoria turned her story into advocacy. The 2017 TEDx Talk Athletes and Mental Health, The Hidden Opponent, now has hundreds of thousands of views. She founded a nonprofit, leads Instagram authentically under Namish Real Post, and speaks for college athletes nationwide about what many refuse to name mental illness on the roster. Karsta Low, USA 2016. Karsta Low made her name at UCLA as a first-team AVCA All-American, then shot the U.S. national team to one of its best eras. She earned gold at the 2015 World Grand Prix, bronze at Rio 2016, and was branded a cornerstone opposite for years to come. Her textbook jump serves and court IQ set the bar for her generation. After Tokyo postponements and the pandemic, Karsta made a quiet decision, stepping away from both national team training camps and overseas pro contracts to finish a master's in landscape architecture at USC. She cited chronic physical wear, not injury, as a turning point, and a shift in priority toward life balance over volleyball identity. By 2021, Karsta resurfaced on Athletes Unlimited, not seeking status but self-expression. In a league of retired pros, she dropped kills but never chased Olympic glory again. She's since spoken publicly about redefining success. No scandal, no forced fade-out, just a champion who turned the channel and redesigned her path. Amanda Sylvester, USA 2024. 15-year-old Amanda Mandy. Sylvester was a standout at Dream Chasers Volleyball Club in College Park, Georgia. She was the one whose jump floaters popped the scoreboard, and who teammates described as fearless in the key. It was the kind of talent that young players chase for and build upon. On December 5, 2024, during a pre-practice warm-ups, Amanda collapsed without warning. Grady EMS reportedly never responded to multiple 911 calls labeled low priority. Firefighters arrived, but no EMS ambulance followed. After more than 45 minutes, her mother drove her to the hospital. But Amanda died of cardiac failure that same night. Local officials launched an investigation. Amanda's family hired civil rights lawyer Ben Crump, calling the delay a failure of a system that should protect athletes. Dream Chasers posted tributes, but no rule has yet changed. Amanda died chasing a dream. Was it preventable? That remains the haunting silence on every scoreboard. Natasha Faranea, Brazil 2012. Natasha Faranea emerged as Brazil's top U20 middle blocker, best blocker at the 2005 Junior World Championship, and a defensive anchor on clubs that won the 2013 FIVB Club World Championship silver. She packed potential, medals, and physical presence into a player who looked destined for Brazil's all-time list. Despite her junior success, Faranea earned only one senior national team cap at the 2012 Pan American Cup, and never made a world championship or Olympic roster. Meanwhile, Brazil stacked frontline talent Meijara, Gabi, Mingardi, who emerged with stronger international consistency. Faranea became a very good domestic player, but not the global star she seemed poised to become. Faranea continued to own the best blocker crown in Superliga finals through 2018, and still played at pro league level with occasional abroad stints. But her career trajectory, talent without transcendent timeline, serves as a case study in how youth success doesn't always equal legacy in Brazil's depth-soaked volleyball system. Talent alone isn't enough. Sometimes the hardest battles happen away from the net. Now, if you want more stories that go beyond highlight reels, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Join us as we uncover volleyball's untold truths.